Hello, it's Robert Miner with Dynamic Traders Group with this week's DT trade strategies for the week beginning October 19th, 2020. This is where we do a brief video with one or two markets that look like they're setting up for a potential trade for the upcoming week, and we do these for our YouTube and Twitter followers. I've been off for a couple weeks, haven't done any contributions posts to YouTube or to Twitter, but now I'm back and we'll get back to our regular schedule, which is not actually that regular. Okay, before we get started, here's a quiz. Who knows the significance of the date of October 19th? End of what year? If you don't know, check it out. And if you can't figure it out and you don't know, you really shouldn't have a trading account because it's one of the most significant dates in the history of the stock market. Okay, let's get started and look at a couple of markets, and maybe we can uncover a trade or two for the upcoming week. So before we get started, just a reminder, we want to trade, not forecast. We want to identify conditions with a high probability outcome and a specific low risk trade strategy to take advantage of those conditions. So many people who are not experienced traders, maybe they're new to the game, maybe they've been around it for a while, I shouldn't say game, but the business, thinks that this business of trading or investing, whatever you want to call it, has to do with forecasting, to being correct about the future, what the future is. Well, that's not what it's about. It's about trading and identifying specific technical conditions with a high probability outcome and specific low risk trade strategy to take advantage of those conditions. So decide what you want to be. Do you want to make money trading, or do you want to be a Twitter commentator and criticizer and be a forecaster? So here at Dynamic Traders Group and with me, I'm totally focused on helping you to learn how to trade. Okay, now let's get started. Let's take a quick look at a market we've looked at frequently, and I've been updating almost every week the past few weeks as we get into a particular potential setup at least, and we're at that position this week. So here we go. This is gold. What we talk about in gold is going to be applicable to silver and the GDX as well. And that a reminder that this is weekly data, and the daily momentums, or excuse me, the weekly momentums are what we call dual look back bullish. That means they're either bull from the oversold zone, or in this case with the shorter look back 8, they're bullish coming out of the oversold zone. That typically implies that the market is going to be sideways to up for a few weeks. Not always. There is no technical indicator that's faultless that every time gives you the probable outcome of price. But we look for those that have a high probability in certain situations of a certain outcome. So in this case, we would assume we're going to be sideways to up at least for another 2 or 3 weeks, if not longer. I should have a question mark by that 4. In Elliott wave terms, we're looking at this as a probable ABC wave 4 correction. What happens following a correction? A resumption of the trend to a new high. So we've been pretty right on about the reversal that we had about 3 weeks ago, but so far it really hasn't gone anywhere. So let's take a look at a possible real high probability low risk setup this coming week in gold, where you can position in the event that the market does indeed take off. So this is daily data, and again here is that September potential wave 4 low. We've had one advance since then into the high just this past Monday, and then we had a daily momentum bear reversal that usually is followed by 3 to 5 days sideways to down. So here we are as of the end of the day, Friday. The daily momentums are bearish. They're not oversold yet, and they haven't made a bull reversal yet. But we're in just this ideal position to have completed a minor correction followed by a resumption of the bull trend. So we always use multiple time frames. Our weekly position is indicating that the weekly trend is bullish. It's got a couple, 3 weeks to go, if not more. So then we go down to the daily data and the daily setups to actually set us up for a specific trade with a specific capital exposure, stop loss, entry, that sort of thing. So here's the setup come this week. Following the next DT oscillator daily momentum bull reversal, we will have a dual time frame momentum setup daily and weekly bullish to continue the bull trend, and following that daily momentum bullish reversal, we'll be able to position long with very minimal capital exposure for the potential of a continuing advance to a new high. So see, I'm not forecasting we're going to have a bull trend. I'm saying technically when we get dual time frames in alignment with each other, that's a setup with well-defined and specific and minimal capital exposure to take advantage of that. Now, if you don't use our dynamic trading program, use whatever momentum study you have in your charting program that's reliable to indicate when the market's made momentum cycle reversals, because those are usually coincide with price cycle reversals. So we're really close, I believe, to that occurring within the next few days. This is just a couple of time factors that would indicate between the 16th, which was Friday, and the 21st, which I think that's Wednesday, sometime between now and Wednesday, we should complete a corrective low followed by a resumption of the bull trend. So now's the time to be looking for that. And of course, if we made a new low below the September low, that would void that whole pattern, that whole setup, etc. So we always want to then identify what will invalidate the setup. So be on your toes here this coming week. If we get a signal on the daily data, momentum bullish reversal, and then we take out a minor swing high, that sort of thing, great setup on the long side for gold, silver, and the GDX as well. And I'm going to put a quick commercial pitch in here before we take a look at the ES. Is if you like what you learn from these YouTube and Twitter videos, check out our DT reports at dynamictraders.com. If you haven't checked them out before, if you haven't had a trial before, there's a 1-month trial available from just $19, depending on which report you choose. So check that out. Also, a plug for my book, High Probability Trading Strategies, really a complete overview of the time, price, momentum, pattern, and trade strategies that we use with DT at Dynamic Traders Group. Okay, let's take a look at the ES. This is the ES weekly data. The one key piece of information here is, let's look down here at the DT oscillator momentum, weekly momentum cycles, is that the momentum is bullish. The fast line reached overbought last week, but usually we have both lines overbought before we make a weekly reversal. So more than likely, any declines are going to be corrections within a weekly bull trend. And we got 2 or 3 weeks more of net weekly bull trend, unless a particular event happens. So let's take a look at that particular event and a potential short-term trade for this week. If the ES closes below 33.93, and that's a ways below the market, not quite 100 points, but 60, 70 points or more. If it were to close below, on a daily close, 33.93, is more than likely the weekly momentums will reverse to bearish, and we will not continue the bull trend. So just keep that in mind. I'm not forecasting that's going to happen, but if it happens, it's an event to be aware of. Okay, here's the daily data. The daily momentum just reached oversold on Friday, and usually means we're within 2 to 3 days of making what we call a daily low and a daily momentum bull reversal. So within the next 2 or 3 days, we're likely to make a bull reversal. We've got 2 key time factors on Tuesday, the 20th, so kind of 1 day plus or minus that. Between Monday and Wednesday at the latest, we should complete a daily low. Typically we would with them in this technical position. And if we make the daily momentum bull reversal without having closed below 33.93, then more than likely we have completed a correction and will continue a weekly bull trend, probably to a new high. So that would be a great setup on the long side. It's not there quite yet. Almost. If we want to take a look at some intraday data, however, we can take a look here And we can see, this is 60-minute data, by the way. More than likely, Thursday, Friday made an ABC correction. We had a pretty strong decline at the end of the day on Friday, and we took out what I got labeled as a wave B swing low. And if this is indeed an ABC correction, then over the next day or two, or three at the most, we should continue to decline to below last Thursday's low before we complete that daily low. So that's a piece of information that you can be aware of and take advantage of over the next couple of days. Well, that's it for today. Robert Miner here signing out, and keep checking on YouTube and Twitter. I'll be back with more regular contributions in next week and the weeks to come. Take care, stay safe, wear your mask, be kind to folks. Miner over and out.